This is the leader's recon to the ORP. This is the formation. If you know what these symbols are, then you'll know what that is. If not, you'll learn, and then but this main thing is you'll have the formation the way it looks. You'll know how to fill in the what positions. Leader's recon to the patrol base, and that's pretty self-explanatory. And then this is the formation that you're mostly going to be in when you're moving to your objective. It's pretty self-explanatory. You just have to know what each of these positions are, and then you can just plug those in to here, and you'll know exactly where you're supposed to be. That's helpful because a lot of times you'll take like IDF, and you should still keep this formation through IDF, but most of the time people collapse in, and that's not good. You want to keep people in this formation as much as possible. And then sometimes terrain shrinks everybody in, but you want to stay away from a file as much as possible. Ideally you want to be staggered column. That's like the most you want to break this formation down, but you really want to keep this formation as much as possible. And then your Weasel movement, so this would be like in this formation, kind of just explains if you're PSG how you want your gun 2 to be set up, and for your gun 1 if you're with your PL, then as the Weasel, that's how you want your formation in this boom. And there's your security halt. I got this as assault 2, and this is going to be assault 1 was the green, and the black is your security. And then obviously your gun 1 and gun 2, how they're placed, and then your headquarters is your blue. That's when you're in the security halt. That's the formation. And this is when you're in a low vis environment for your security halt. Same principle on where these people are, it's just different configuration. And then security halt and the limited visibility. That's kind of another way of doing it. So your symbols, these are good symbols to have. So when you do your either your train model or like your your range cards, it's good to have that. You can also explain. Some people don't know what these are, so you can kind of just whip them out and show them real quick. There's your Kazovac FUM. It's nice to have that on you if you don't have it memorized in the field, or when you're giving your PSG brief as a frago in the field as a patrol base. You can make these into cards or just pass these papers around as a visual, so that way you can use that as a visual aid, part of your presentation. So there's your Kazovac one, EPW, pretty self-explanatory. Casualty collection point. And that stands for security. S2 is here, Alpha Bravo, and S1, Alpha and Bravo. AXP. Same there, just read the little nomenclatures for what they are. For helicopter. Look at that. There's your Moscow. And security, S2, S2, S1, S1. And then for your different priorities. Your danger area crossing for like roads. So this, I just made a little mistake. I crossed that out. But you would have the Bravo team individuals from S2 come in, and I'd have them come in so they would meet with the leadership. That's what that means. And then the leadership would push them out to where they want them. So that's what that represents. And then enemy approach, and then that's where you want those specific individuals automatic rifleman, your team leader for your Bravo, your rifleman, and your grenadier. And then this is exactly how they would move across the LDA when they're when they got to pick up, your security helmet's got to pick up and move across. So, and then once you get your classes, they'll fill you in on what all this means, but this is just a good reference point for when you know what this means. This is like the major points. And then another good note in the field: if you cross a large danger area and you're not taking indirect fire, so you have to run across it, you can actually strategically move across. That's the way. It's good notes. And then, yeah, some more notes. So these notes would correspond with this. So if you had that look and you're like, how exactly do I move everybody through here? You can whip these notes out and just go through the list in order, and you should be able to get yourself through the linear danger area crossing. So that's all the way to here, and that's the end of the notes. And then here's your security halt notes. And again, these notes are set up, they should be set up mostly in order from when you first start to when you finish. And these are just meant to be quick notes where you have a general idea of what you need to do, and then these just kind of point out the key points so you don't miss anything in your movements and in your briefs. That's the way these notes are organized. There's your ORP. Again, you just pause the video, I suppose, and write this stuff down. ORP continued. ORP continued. I didn't put down the security halt, but in the previous, you can see where a security halt formation would be, and then you would move that into the ORP configuration. That's what this symbolizes, transition. And that's gun 1, gun 2, that's your 249 at your 6, and these little arrows represent which way the gun is pointed. And that they should be 40 degrees off. I didn't put that in there, but they're on bipod, so they're 40 degrees off. Lines. These are just odd notes that I had. Like, you need to know what got what is. The 3 W's, just the basic stuff. And then patrol base notes. This is for setting up your patrol base. Continued. And continued. And how it should look. How it should look when you're going to do your clearing, your security. The recon of it. And then patrol base, yeah, continued. That's good. Yeah, that's part of it. This is just like deco notes. And patrol base. And then this is the order of a brief for, I believe this is PL. Yeah. So PL and the squad leaders, these are just kind of a general overview of how a brief should go. And continued over here. And ending right there. That should be relatively in order of how the brief should go. That's how you want to do your brief, in order of the flow of the mission throughout the whole day. And then this is broken down into the different squad leader looks. So this is your complete squad leader weapons, squad leader brief. Everything from starting off to who you are, to how do you emplace your guns, to briefing your withdrawal plan and compromise plan that you WAG. So that's your weapons squad leader. Here's your PSG brief. All the major hit points that you got to hit. I just crossed this out because I wrote that twice when I was doing these notes. You just disregard that, it keeps flowing. And then your Assault 1 and 2 breakdown. Typically Assault 1 and Assault 2 will work together when they're doing their briefs. So I was never an Assault squad leader, but from what I remember, I believe Assault 1 did most of the brief, and then Squad Leader 2 would come up and give another part of the brief, so they'd kind of get both graded on some stuff, but typically they're both the same on their briefs. There's just some slight variances in each one. Let's continue. And